The Beginner's Bible. The Old Testament. The beginning, Genesis chapter 1. In the beginning, the world was empty. Darkness was everywhere, but God had a plan. God separated the light from the darkness. "Let there be light," he said, and the light turned on. He called the light day, and he called the darkness night. This was the end of the very first day. Then God said, "I will divide the waters." He separated the waters in the clouds above from the waters in the ocean below. He called the space between them sky. This was the end of the second day. Next, God rolled back the waters and some dry ground appeared. He made plants of many shapes and colors. He made mountains, hills, and valleys. This was the end of the third day. God put a shining sun in the sky for daytime. He put a glowing moon and twinkling stars in the sky for nighttime. This was the end of the fourth day. On the fifth day, God made swishy fish and squiggly creatures to live in the ocean. Then God made birds to fly across the sky. On the sixth day, God made animals to creep, crawl, hop, and gallop. Then from the dust, God made the most wonderful creature of all, a person. God named him Adam. On the seventh day, God rested. Adam and Eve, Genesis chapter 2. God had planted a beautiful garden for Adam in a place called Eden. A river flowed through the garden. Adam loved his new home. His job was to name all the animals and care for the garden. Adam loved all the animals, but he could not find a friend that was just right for him. So, God created a woman. Adam named her Eve. She was just right for Adam. Adam and Eve loved each other. Together, they took care of God's garden. The sneaky snake, Genesis chapter 3. Many trees grew in the Garden of Eden. God told Adam and Eve, "You may eat the fruit from any tree except for one. Never eat the fruit from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil." Now, there was a sneaky snake in the garden. One day, the snake saw Eve near the special tree. It hissed, "Did God really tell you not to eat the fruit from this tree?" The snake wanted Eve to disobey God. It said, "You should try some of this tasty fruit. If you eat it, you will be like God. You will be able to tell the difference between good and evil." The fruit looked tasty. Eve remembered what God had said, but she ate the fruit anyway. Then Eve gave some to Adam. He took a bite too. As the sun was going down, Adam and Eve heard God walking through the garden. He was looking for them. Adam and Eve hid among the trees. They were afraid. "What have you done?" God asked. "Did you eat the fruit from the forbidden tree?" Adam said, "Yes, but Eve gave it to me." Eve said, "Yes, but the snake tricked me." God told the snake, "Because of what you did, you will always crawl on your belly." Then he told Adam and Eve, "Because you disobeyed me, you can no longer live in the garden." Adam and Eve left the garden. God placed angels and a flaming sword to guard the entrance. Adam and Eve would not be allowed in the garden again. Noah's Ark, Genesis chapter 6 through 9. After Adam and Eve left the garden, many people were born. The people kept doing bad things and they forgot about God. Except Noah. Noah loved God. God was sad that everyone but Noah forgot about him. He told Noah about his plan to start over. Make yourself an ark, God said. Here's how. So Noah and his family began working on the ark. When it was done, God said, take your family and 2 of every animal in the ark. Animals creeped, crawled, hopped, and galloped onto Noah's new boat. After everyone was inside, the rain began to fall and fall and fall. The ark rocked this way and that way on the rising water. Finally, the rain stopped. Water covered everything. Everyone inside the ark was safe. Noah and his family were very happy. One day, Noah sent a dove to find land. It flew and flew but never found any, so it came back. 1 week later, Noah sent the dove out again. This time, it brought him an olive leaf. Noah cheered, "It must have found land!" The ark finally came to rest on the top of a mountain. God told Noah to leave the ark. Noah and his family praised God. God put a beautiful rainbow in the sky. It was a sign of his promise to never flood the whole earth again. The tall tower, Genesis chapter 11. After the flood, everyone spoke the same language. 1 word meant hello, 1 word meant mom, and 1 word meant dad. The people said, if we work together, we can do anything. Let's build a tower that goes all the way up to heaven. Then everyone will see how great we are. The people worked on their tower. They built it taller and taller. They began to brag. God did not like the way they were acting. It was as if they no longer needed him. So God mixed up their language. When they tried to talk to each other, it sounded like Babel. Everyone was confused. Then God scattered the people all over the earth. They had to stop building their tower. From then on, the tower was called Babel. A new home. Genesis chapter 12 through 17. Abraham loved God. So did his wife Sarah. One day, God told Abraham to move to a new land. So along with their helpers, Abraham and Sarah packed up and went. Abraham's nephew was Lot. Lot and all his helpers went with them too. The helpers began to fight. There was not enough grass for all the animals. So Abraham said to Lot, "You pick your own land to live on." Lot chose the best land. It had the most green grass and the most water for his animals. Lot moved to his new home. Then God gave Abraham a blessing. God said, "All the land you see here will be yours forever. Also, you and Sarah will be blessed with many children." God led Abraham and Sarah to a place called Hebron. It was beautiful. The visitors. Genesis chapter 18, 21. One hot day, Abraham was resting near his tent. He heard footsteps. 3 men were standing nearby. Abraham went out to greet them. "Would you like to rest in the shade? We have plenty of cool water to drink. Can I get you something to eat?" Abraham told Sarah about the visitors. He asked her to make a tasty meal. While they were eating, the 3 visitors shared some exciting news. They said, "Your wife is going to have a son." Sarah heard what they said. She laughed, thinking, I am too old. God asked Abraham, why did Sarah laugh? Anything is possible with the Lord. Sure enough, the next year, Sarah had a baby boy. They named him Isaac. A bride for Isaac, Genesis chapter 24 through 25. When Isaac grew up, his father Abraham wanted him to get married. Abraham told one of his servants, go to my homeland. There you will find the perfect bride for Isaac. So Abraham sent the servant on his way with 10 camels and a lot of jewelry and clothes. They were gifts for Isaac's new bride. The servant reached Abraham's homeland. He stopped by a well and prayed, Dear God, please show me the woman you have chosen for Isaac. I will know she is the one if she offers water to me and my camels. Before he finished praying, a young woman with a jar walked toward the well. After she filled her jar, the servant asked her for a drink. She gave him a drink. Then she gave water to his camels. She was the answer to his prayer. Her name was Rebecca. The servant gave her the gifts, and they went to meet her father. The servant asked for his permission to take Rebecca to Isaac. Rebecca told the servant she would be happy to go. When Isaac saw Rebecca, he fell in love with her. Soon they got married. Isaac and Rebecca had twin boys named Esau and Jacob. Isaac's blessing, Genesis chapter 27. When Isaac was an old man, he could not see very well. He called for his firstborn son, Esau. Bring me my favorite dinner, then I will give you God's blessing. I will make a special meal for you, said Esau. Then he hunted for some meat to cook. Isaac's wife Rebecca wanted Jacob to get God's blessing. So, while Esau was hunting, she told Jacob her plan. She made Isaac's dinner, then she tied goat skins around Jacob's arms. Jacob took the meal to his father. After dinner, Isaac reached out to bless his son. Isaac thought Jacob was Esau, so he gave Jacob his blessing. When Esau returned, he found out what had happened. Esau was very angry. He wanted to hurt Jacob. Rebekah asked Isaac to send Jacob to his uncle Laban's house. Jacob's dream, Genesis chapter 28. Jacob traveled for many miles. His uncle Laban lived far away. One night he lay on the ground using a stone for his pillow. Jacob fell fast asleep. Jacob dreamed of a stairway to heaven. Angels walked up and down. God said, I am watching over you, Jacob. Someday, all of this land will belong to you and your family. The next morning, when Jacob woke up, he said, The Lord is in this place. He took his stone pillow and set it up as a reminder of his dream. Jacob praised God. Then he continued on his way. Jacob and Esau meet again. Genesis chapter 29. While Jacob lived with his uncle Laban, he became a shepherd. He fell in love and got married. God blessed Jacob with many sons. Jacob also had many sheep, donkeys, and camels. One day, God told Jacob to go back to his homeland. Jacob wanted to go back, but he was afraid of his brother Esau. He thought Esau would still be angry with him. But Jacob obeyed God. He and his family packed up everything they owned. Jacob sent servants ahead to offer gifts to Esau. Much to Jacob's surprise, Esau ran to meet him, and he gave Jacob a big hug. They were so happy to see each other again. Joseph's colorful robe, Genesis chapter 37. Joseph was one of Jacob's 12 sons. Jacob loved him more than all of his other sons. Jacob made Joseph a colorful robe. His brothers were jealous. They wanted nice robes too. and they wanted to be loved as much as Joseph was loved. Joseph had a dream. He told his family, "We were bundling grain from the field. Your bundles of grain bowed down to mine." Then Joseph had another dream. He said, "This time the sun and moon and 11 stars were bowing down to me." His father asked, "Does this mean our family will bow down to you someday?" The brothers were even more angry. They threw Joseph into a dry well. Along came some traders. The brothers sold Joseph to them as a slave. They lied to their father and said Joseph had been killed by a wild animal, but God was with Joseph. Pharaoh's dreams, Genesis chapter 39 through 41. The traders took Joseph to Egypt. He was thrown into jail, but he did nothing wrong. Joseph trusted God to help him. He made friends with some of the prisoners. One of them had been a wine taster for Pharaoh. Pharaoh was the leader of Egypt. The wine taster said, "Last night I had a dream. I was picking grapes and squeezing them into Pharaoh's cup. Then I put the cup in his hand. What does this mean, Joseph?" Joseph answered, "You will be Pharaoh's wine taster again. Once you are free, please don't forget about me. Help me get out of jail too." A few days later, the wine taster's dream came true. He got out of jail and became Pharaoh's wine taster once again. But he forgot about Joseph. Later, Pharaoh had two strange dreams. In one dream, he saw 7 heavy cows and 7 skinny cows. The skinny cows ate up all the heavy cows. In another dream, Pharaoh saw 7 healthy plants. Then he saw 7 dried up plants. The dried up plants ate all the healthy plants. Pharaoh was confused. Pharaoh's wise men were confused too. Then the wine taster remembered Joseph. He told Pharaoh that Joseph could explain his dreams. With God's help, Joseph told Pharaoh what his dream meant. For the next 7 years, plenty of food will grow. For 7 years after that, not enough food will grow because there will be no rain. Pharaoh said, "Joseph, you are a very wise man. I will make you a ruler over Egypt." Joseph saves his family, Genesis chapter 42 through 46. For the first 7 years, Joseph was in charge of gathering extra food for the people of Egypt. That way, when hardly any crops grew, there would still be plenty to eat. The 7 bad years began, and people in other countries had no food at all. Even Joseph's family did not have enough to eat, so Joseph's father sent his sons to Egypt to buy some food. When the brothers arrived in Egypt, they went to Joseph and bowed down to him. They did not know he was their brother, but Joseph knew. Joseph sold them some food. Then the brothers left to go home. Sometime later, they returned to buy some more food. Just as Joseph had dreamed, they bowed down to him again. Finally, Joseph told them, "I am your brother." His brothers were afraid. But Joseph told them not to be afraid. God meant it for good. He had a special plan for me, he said. They all hugged. Joseph's brothers rushed home. They told their father what had happened. Jacob was so happy to hear that Joseph was alive. The whole family moved to Egypt. Thank you for reading Genesis with me. If you would like to continue to stay on, I have a craft. Thank you. Thank you guys so much for staying on and tuning in for this simple craft we're going to do for the beginning, which is Genesis. So when I think of Genesis, I think of the 7 days in the creation God made earth. So for this simple craft, all you're going to need are some markers and a piece of paper. So what we're going to do with this piece of paper is you're going to fold it up, hamburger style, and then we're going to fold it again so it looks like a little square, and then we're going to fold this in half. And you can crease it and make sure it's all creased and stuff. So once we open it, we have 8 squares. And I know we don't need 8 squares, but this is what we're going to make. So you have day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5, day 6, day 7, and this is where you can put your name or the title of this, but I named it 7 Days of Creation, Genesis. Alrighty. So, for the first day, we know that God created lightness. We know that God created night and day. So, I think a good one, we can just create something to show light and day. You can make it prettier so you don't see the pencil line. I should have erased that first. Next, we have day 2, which is like the atmosphere and the sky. So you can draw, I'm sure there are so many things you can think of to draw. So I'm just kind of gonna color this. You can do like blue, and then you can add your sky, which I know it's kind of hard, but you can just, we can have our sky. You have your clouds. And you can do this any way you think is best. That way you can get a little idea that these are your clouds. All right, almost done. So there's kind of like your atmosphere, and you can make it more realistic with the clouds. And then on day number 3, this is when God created like the dry land and plants. So you can draw something as simple as just like grass and flowers. I mean, how beautiful is that? Draw a little rose here. There we go. And then on day 4, God created the stars and the moon. So I guess just to represent this, and draw stars. And then just something as simple as the moon. And then on day 5, God created flying animals, or also swimming animals. So for this one, you can draw a fish. I'm not very good at birds, but we're gonna try. Draw a little beak. You guys get the idea. We have like our fish and our bird. And then on day number 6, God created people. How amazing is that? And then on day number 7, God rested because he had created all these things for 6 days. And on the 7th day, he decided to make this a rest day. So I'm gonna draw some snoring, some Z's, and maybe even a pillow, because who doesn't love to sleep? Alrighty, y'all. So this is a very simple craft. I did it very quickly, or else it'd probably be a little more prettier, but I'm sure y'all's are so much prettier and stuff. And I would love for you to share these with me and follow my Instagram page and just share these with me so I can see what you guys did. And just thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. And I hope you guys have a great day.